What can I say about this man? He's worked in the UK, he's worked in Hong Kong, he's worked in Beirut, he's worked in Australia. Stan, who are some of the stars you've worked with?
You do really long.
I do go on, don't I? Who have you worked with?
Who have I worked with in the UK?
Let's name drop.
I hate name dropping because everybody out there would know. Well, name drop, let me think.
Adam Faith?
Well, Adam Faith, fabulous. Adam Faith, I worked with Adam and Larry Grayson at the time.
Wonderful TV presenter in the UK.
And also...
Petula Clark?
Yeah, I'll get to her in a minute. I worked with one of my first gigs on the professional circuit was with, did a little tour with the Andrew Sisters, the original.
What do you remember about them?
Well, the thing is, I was quite chuffed because when I was a kid, we had a wind-up gramophone. And the Andrew Sisters, who were famous during the war years, of course, we still had their 7/8 records. Remember those? And we used to play, Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy and Rum and Coca-Cola and all of those old hits.
Great songs.
Great songs. And when I heard that we were doing our act in their show, well, of course, I was absolutely gobsmacked. Well, you would be. I mean, there I was, a little Welsh queen from a Welsh mountain. It was the big coal era in those days.
Wasn't it one of the first times you heard a woman swear?
Well, the thing was, when we met them, they said, do you mind awfully if you help us during our section of the show? They closed the show, and their act went for an hour with all their hits and, all their patter. And, of course, they had to do costume changes and everything. And it was the first time that I'd heard a woman say fuck. And if I'm sure it was Patty. It was Patty Andrew said fuck. And I, my tender ears at the time couldn't believe it.
You must have been in shock.
Well, not for long.
You got over it.
Well, of course, we'd all used it at school, but I'd never heard a woman say fuck.
Outrageous. It's
now
not right.
Everybody says fuck, don't they?
They all say that naughty F word. Petula Clark. You'd said you'd mention Petula Clark.
Yeah, well, we got a pantomime with Petula Clark, starring Petula Clark and Tommy Cooper.
A comedian in the UK?
Yes. And we were the Baron's men. Now, there was a Baron in the show. It was Mother Goose. And his name was Baron Hardup. What a lovely name, Hardup.
We've all been there.
I know, many times. Right up as well.
Some more than others.
Some more than others. But anyway, we were the Baron Hardup, and as pantos go, it was all fantasy. All of a sudden, the two Baron's men broke into this big tap dance routine, like you do. I mean, what the Baron's men were doing, wearing
tap shoes,
beggars belief.
Did you have tails?
Oh yes, we had, no, we had grey suits, top hats, and we used to dance on top of specially constructed suitcases.
What's the name of your act?
We were called the Two Munros Tip Top Taps. We were named that on quite a few of the shows we did. And then another one, which I think is hysterical, we were called, because I was supposed to be Australian, because my partner was Australian. So the act was called The two Munros on top from down under.
As you do.
As you do.
But then, of course, going forward, 1963, you moved to Australia on an assisted passenger scheme.
Yes, but I did a lot of other shows apart from that.
You did?
You asked me to do this video. Now, do I get to say my piece?
Say your piece, Stan.
Right. And how comes though we're doing a double act? Anyway,
Not for the first time.
We did a lot of shows, and we did summer seasons. One of the summer seasons is when I met my dear friend John Inman. We were in one theatre, big variety theatre, and he was in the theatre that was exactly next door, and he was doing a British farce. I forget the name. It was starring Albert Modley, a well-known Yorkshire comedian, and it was a farce, in British farce, about a pop star. And John Inman played the pop star in very tight pants and very high boots. And that's how I met him. And he was a great friend, and we remained friends for years and years. And we also did a summer season in Butlins Holiday Camp, whoopee. Butlins Holiday Camp in Ayrshire in Scotland for the summer. And of course we went over to Germany. We went around Germany doing armed forces bases, American force bases.
Did you meet many soldiers?
Not really, because we were a concert party and we were kept away from them, I suppose. And I worked with quite a few singers over there, Joan Reagan, and one of my favourites was Tessie O'Shea.
Oh, yes.
Two-ton Tessie O'Shea, and she played the ukulele, as everybody knows. And then, of course, I headed to Australia, but I think we're giving too much away.
We don't want to give too much away, but you did go to Australia, so you won't talk about the voyage.
Yeah.
But you joined Les Girls shortly after arriving.
I joined in late '63.
Any particular memories you'd like to share about Les Girls?
No, it was just magic. It was a top class, it was like Las Vegas in those days. And everybody came to see the show, and some came in, the men came in dark suits with a black bow tie, and the ladies came in beautiful evening gowns. It was the place to go. But of course, years later, when another person took it over, it went down the toilet.
So that was Les Girls, a big part of your career. But of course you did more than that. As a boy, you were in a film, Fun at St. Fanny's. When you lived in Hong Kong, you were in Jeff Bridges', I think, first film.
Yes, I was, yes.
And then, of course, the seminal Australian film in the 1970s, Alvin Purple. Any fond memories of that?
Well, Alvin Purple was a brilliant movie, and you can buy it in the video stores. And it's often shown on late night television. Now, how I got that gig was the director, his name escapes my mind now, but Bruce Beresford.
Yes, very well known.
Bruce Beresford was mentioned a lot in Barry Humphrey's book I've just read. Anyway, Bruce Beresford was at Les Girls one night, and he saw me perform, and he asked to speak to me after the show, and he said, I've got a great part in this movie, Alvin Purple, and you have to play a middle-aged transsexual. Perfect casting.
Perfect for the role.
And it was great. It was lovely. I had a great time.
Now, you and I met about 2 years ago on Facebook, and I was coming up to do a couple of interviews with you for YouTube. But you mentioned to me, and I was very honoured to have it mentioned, that you wanted to do your life story, and you wanted a book.
Yes.
Now, why is a book so important to you about your life?
Because a book will be around long after I've gone.
And I've spent hours here. This is my third visit to northern New South Wales, to Stan's wonderful, beautiful home. Outside, you couldn't be more Australian. You've got rainbow lorikeets flying around in the bushes and the trees. You've got wallabies, and you've even got the bush turkeys. Stan's not a huge fan of the bush turkeys, but it's been an honour spending hours and hours.
You make it sound like a zoo, darling.
I was thinking more the Garden of Eden.
It's just a two-storey house right on the edge of a rainforest, and today it is so hot outside. I live in the downstairs area of the house. The downstairs is exactly the same as the upstairs, so it's duplicated. It could be two houses, but it's not. It's just one big one overlooking the village.
It is beautiful, and it's a lovely place. It's this gorgeous village where Stan is. Anyway, the book...
Does ride on.
Do go on. The book's going to have everything in it. It's going to be warts and all. There's going to be fun. There's going to be laughter. There's going to be tears. There's going to be so much in it. We're going to name drop shamelessly. Stan's going to talk about his life in Wales, as well as his life outside of Wales and here in Australia, as well as Beirut and even Hong Kong.
But hang on, you said warts. I've never had warts, but I've had pals older than you.
I take that as a compliment, I think. But we're getting into the process of writing the book. We've done all the interviews, many, many hours worth about Stan's life. We've got most of them transcribed. We've got a few more to transcribe, so I'll get them sent off to be transcribed, as I just said. I'm using that word a lot, transcribed. And then I shall get into the workings of the book at the beginning of 2017 and start putting it into a wonderful order. And before you know it, hopefully towards the end of 2017, 2018, the book will be out there. Please do go and get it.
Well, I hope I'm here for the launch. And I must add, no names have been changed.
Everything is in it.
Yes, it's to protect the guilty.
To protect the guilty. They will be named and they will be shamed. And the good people will be honoured. And they will feel privileged to be a part of this fine book that Stan and I are working on. It's been great getting to know Stan over the past couple of years. It's been an honour to stay up here with him in northern New South Wales. We're working on the book. It's going to be a great book. Not just about Stan's life, although it mainly is, but about the history of Les Girls and his memories of working in showbiz back in the UK. Anything else you want to say, Stan?
I'm still working.
And he's still working. He's not retired. He goes on, he goes on, he goes on, like I do, but I tend to go on and on when I speak. Stan, it's been an absolute honour talking with you.
It's been a pleasure. Now, is this the end?
This is the end. I'm William Broom, signing off. We're out of here.
Cut.
Take care. Bye-bye. That was very good.